Let's begin with a drum set. Listen for an explosive live sound. The snare should be crisp and the cymbals should ring.
I admire you when my living has a limit of desire to keep it going. I'm just knowing that my time with you makes a difference. How I'm feeling when I vibe with you. They can't divide us two. We got a bond like 007, right? Even on Devil's Night, you show me what the heavens like. Go ahead and spread your light, though I can barely see. I know you're there with me, my personal therapy. Some days I wish I was more like you. Your certainty, your attitude. Keep doing what you're doing, I ain't mad at you. I'm just wishing that I had that too. Some days I wish I was more like you. Your certainty, your attitude. Keep doing what you're doing, I ain't mad at you. Just to know you, I'm glad I do. I want you to view yourself the way you see me. When you're feeling alone, I'll be a sanctuary, yeah. I want you to view yourself the way you see me. When you're feeling alone, I'll be a sanctuary. You inspire me. Look at you crazy when you tell me you admire me. Not an example for anybody to try to be. We'll call you bluff, but I know you wouldn't lie to me. Just a surprise to me. We got a bond tight, no one can come between. I have respect for you, you have your love for me, and that's enough for me. All I need to get by, let me be the method to your Mary J. Blige. So many times I felt defeated. You always know the right thing to say for when I need it. I wanna do the same thing for you to keep it even. You can call me anytime, you don't ever need a reason. I'm right here with you, never could forget you. All the things that we've been through, everything we went through. Hey, none of it was simple, but I'm right here with you. Some days I wish I was more like you. Your certainty, your attitude. Keep doing what you're doing, I ain't mad at you. I'm just wishing that I had that too. Some days I wish I was more like you. Your certainty, your attitude. Keep doing what you're doing, I ain't mad at you. Just to know you, I'm glad I do. I want you to view yourself the way you see me. When you're feeling alone, I'll be a sanctuary, yeah. I want you to view yourself the way you see me. When you're feeling alone, I'll be a sanctuary.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
I want you to, I like that song. I want you to understand and listen closely. I want you to take a moment to reflect on who you are and what you stand for. I want you to look at yourself and think, I can achieve. I can do great things. Myself, I can reach Olympian heights. And I will do all that is required of me to make sure that my fellow man, my fellow American, my fellow Auroran, my fellow human, my neighbor will also be able to succeed with me and you in a new day, in a new year, in a new morning. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora.
Good morning, Aurora.
The time is now 8:02 a.m. and you're listening to not since Beethoven was. Listen to the second largest city's first daily news podcast. I mean, that's really all.
Featuring Jenettesplaining on Friday. It's Friday. You're welcome. We're here.
We are.
We made it. Do you give yourself a little pep speech in the mornings? You seem to me like one of those guys who kind of looks in the mirror and is like, let's go. I'm doing this. You got this.
I do.
You do?
But it doesn't happen in the mirror.
No?
It happens as soon as I open my eyes. Sometimes I sleep on the couch. Sometimes I sleep in the bed. But wherever I'm laying at, the moment my eyes open, some strange, voice just starts saying, you got this. And this weird 27-second piece of music just starts playing in my brain. It's been doing it since I was 17 years old, and I just don't know how to I can't turn it off. And it makes me feel just like I can do anything.
I feel like we've gotten a little bit deep into the psyche of the host today.
I feel like that too. Let's change subjects.
You want to do some news?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do some news. Cool,
all right.
cool.
Emily, good morning to you.
Good morning,
Emily.
Everybody.
Good morning to all of you wonderful, fantastic
I'm
people.
I'm going to do the thing where I try to comment while I talk.
Live comment, yeah.
I'm going to do it.
We have a lot to...
Sometimes I pull it off.
We have a lot to talk about and discuss. Jonathan Anderson, good morning to
good
you
morning,
as
John
well.
Anderson.
Victoria Howell Baldonado, Deb Sturgis.
Hi, Mom.
Emily, Aisha Saxon. You have to do this. Norma Peterson, good morning, Gams fan. I owe Norma an email which will be drafted. That actually takes me to let me just start off with this. The ILRPP, the Illinois Rental Protection Program, ends this Sunday at midnight. The application portal is open. Eligible households can receive up to 18 months of assistance or $250,000. To apply, simply go to illinoishousinghelp.org and follow the link for the adjoining prompts, and you can apply. The time is 8:05 a.m. A 3-judge federal court panel upholds state legislative redistricting plan. Did you know that?
Yeah. I did. I heard about that. So that's the, every 10 years we do the census, and then all of the politicians get together in closed rooms and they shut out their nemesis, and then they redraw the maps to preserve democracy somehow, and then your Senate district ends up looking like a drunk salamander. That happened. It's called redistricting. Mm-hmm. And what happened, you'll recall, because we've been following this here on the show, is that in the state of Illinois, it's like a winner-take-all system, sort of, with the parties being able to draw, whoever's in charge gets to kind of draw the lines a little bit. And so the Democrats drew lines for the state based on the new census figures, except womp womp, the census figures weren't out yet, because you'll remember that the whole census it was total chaos. It was total chaos with the census this year. None of the figures are right, and so they just went ahead and just drew the maps anyway. And of course the Republicans came and challenged them in court, because they're like, you can't draw the maps based on the census when the census data isn't even released yet, which seems valid to me. And then on top of that, it's created some really strange bedfellows, because there have been a number of organizations, particularly Latinx organizations, that are like, wait a minute, you've also drawn fewer Latino dominated districts. So it's kind of it was all up in the air for a while where where all the districts were going to land, but it went to court, and the courts are like, nah. It turns out because what the Democrats did was like, okay, we'll wait for the census figures to come out. The census figures came out, and they resubmitted basically the same maps, and so now that's what our maps are. If you look at them, they kind of create this interesting hurricane swirl around Chicago. So like every district in the area has like a little tiny shred of Chicago in it, and then also has like a good chunk of the suburbs somewhere. It's kind of funny how that happened.
Interesting. Republican leaders in the General Assembly, as well as the Mexican American Legal Defense and Educational Fund, MALDEF, quickly filed suit, arguing the maps violated the one person, one vote principle because the districts were not close to being equal in population. Interesting. The thing I like most about this article, which is, well, I will save my opinion. The thing I like the most about it is this powerful first two paragraphs. Well, not paragraphs, but first two joints. A 3-judge federal court panel has upheld legislative redistricting plan and state lawmakers approved a special summer last year. I like that. Here's the next part. In their 64-page opinion. 64-page opinion. That's just an opinion.
They're like almost like my emails that I send you. They're almost that long.
Yeah. Released December 30th, the judges said the plaintiffs in the 3 separate lawsuits had failed to show that the redistricting plan violated federal law or the U.S. Constitution by diluting Latino power in Chicago and surrounding suburbs, or black voting power in the Metro East region on the Illinois side of the St. Louis metropolitan area. East side, stand up.
Yeah, I thought what I thought was funny was when someone said Democratic leaders who had approved the new maps argued that they were not drawn for the purpose of racial gerrymandering, but instead to protect Democratic majorities. Like, well, yeah, duh. So, like, here's the bigger story of redistricting, not just in Illinois, affecting the balance of power down in Springfield, but like across the country, which is there was this very big concern early on in the process because Republicans hold more state control over more state houses currently, that what they would do is draw as many districts as possible to be less competitive. So, like, you probably are aware of the feeling of living in Illinois and going to vote for president and being like, my vote doesn't really matter anyway because, Illinois always goes Democrat by a huge margin, right? So, like, why even bother to show up? And so the fear was that Republicans across the country were going to do that in all of these smaller races, too, for Congress and for the local elections. And as it turns out, weirdly, and no one can quite explain it yet, but that hasn't really happened. The Democrats have somehow managed to kind of pull this out and like lean some more of the districts in their way. But the bigger story is basically that there are fewer competitive districts across the country, which means more and more people feeling like you and I do when we go to vote for president in Illinois, which is like, why am I even here? It doesn't matter. Like, it already leans so strong one way or the other that there's just no point. So 538 blog has kind of this cool like map widget where they are tracking how much all the districts lean in one direction or another as the maps across the country get approved. So maybe Monica can post that and people can kind of play with it. What you see is that there were just a lot more districts that were kind of in play before the last like 10 years ago, and now there's a lot more that are just like, no, this is a solid red district, or no, this is a solid blue district, and you can show up to vote, but like, really, is it going to sway anything? Probably not.
Tyrus Brooks, good morning to you. Bianca Camargo, good morning to you. Casildo Casey Cuevas, good morning to you, and to all of the people out there in all of Kane County, good morning to you as well.
All of you in Kane County who are sick with COVID right now.
Now, speaking of sick with COVID,
You like that segue? Is that a good one?
that was
Did I do
a
okay?
good one. Actually,
rolling with it.
hang on a second. Hold
Okay,
on.
we gonna
DJ,
circle
can
back?
yeah, hold on. Actually, that's what it is. We're going to go to COVID next.
What do we got first?
First, I got something to tell people. This is also in our final stage here. Also very important. The application process is now open for $4 million in federal funding through the Federal American Rescue Plan. That's ending soon. Very soon. Kane County is your place to go. To be eligible for this grant, applicants must be fully incorporated and operating as a 501c3 as of January 1st, 2019. Deliver services from a facility that's physically located in Kane County. Provide as its primary mission services to Kane County residents in the areas of behavioral and mental health, homeless shelters, and food pantries, and be in good standing with all applicable federal, state, and local standards and requirements. The link to start an application can be found online at www.countyofkane.org. We made a post about this yesterday. It's on our Facebook page as well. All right. COVID. We need to help people.
Let's talk about everybody in town is sick, or like a lot of people.
Which reminds me, yesterday we told people that our upcoming Noticias y Mimosas for this month is postponed. It is postponed.
We're just gonna, wait a little while.
We're gonna do it safe.
Try to not cough on people.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. So case counts right now, it's like 1,000 people a day are reporting new cases of this. And here in Kane County, which is a county of only 500,000 people, so like kind of a lot. So and what's crazy about it too right now is not only the sheer number of people who are reporting that they're sick, but also the number of people who you've taken off my pen for. It's like a nice pen. I ordered those from Japan. No, hey, pen thief. You guys stealing like? All right. Okay. Anyway, back to the COVID death plague. So a bunch of people are sick, but what's crazy about the data now is that so many people are starting to just take the you are not going to pocket that pen. They're taking the at-home rapid test stuff, and if they're not really sick, they're not going to the hospital or anything. So now you even have cases that aren't getting reported at all because people are just they test at home. They're like, yep, that's COVID. I guess I'll stay home. And since they're not getting violently ill, it's not getting reported. So it's even more than you think it is. So positivity rates are off the charts. They're at about 20%. So 1 in 5 people going into the shady COVID spots are actually testing positive. Don't go to the shady COVID testing spots. Go to your doctor. Go to the legit Illinois Department of Public Health testing spot. Out there on Farnsworth. Go to the VNA. Go to a place that you knew provided health care prior to the pandemic. Those are good places to go.
Right.
Do not go to the shady stopcovidnow.com.
Right.
.org. .biz. Don't go to any place with a .biz.
.biz.
Yeah, so as a result, obviously, of the pandemic continuing to rage through town, through the county, court is now on Zoom again.
Court is on Zoom.
Which I think is going to be kind of a fascinating thing to watch. So this is one of those, quote-unquote, natural experiments that's been happening throughout the pandemic, which is the concept of everything's changing and we're able to kind of institute controls a before and an after for how we're doing things. And I'm just really curious to find out how Zoom court is working because
shit works great.
Yeah.
Or brother not in the system at the moment.
But
it works really good.
Yeah. See, because here's my thing, right? On the one hand, if I'm in trouble for something, I probably want to, me personally, I probably want to, look at the judge, eye to eye and, plead and beg, right? Or whatever, right? Like it's sometimes you can have like if you can build the rapport, get a little mercy. I don't know.
Not really.
I would at least want to try, right? But on the other hand, for people who like one of the biggest challenges for a lot of people is getting to court in the first place, right? So especially if it's for something like you're facing eviction or something like that, right? Like if you're facing eviction, you probably have a hard time with money for things like cars and gas, and it's not particularly easy to get to our courthouse. It's on a bus line technically, but do you know the bus route? I don't. So right. So like my guess is that court appearance rates are actually much higher right now. Like because if I just have to if I have the option to just hop on my computer, maybe that makes it easier for me. I don't know. I'm curious. I'll be curious to see how that shakes out.
Yeah, I don't know anybody even going to court and all that that I can speak of. Some of our clients are going to court, but I can't talk about their demonstrations. But they were going in person to court. But I'll say this.
Yeah, all y'all feel free to weigh in if you're.
I talked about it
going through
with
some things.
Bianca
No
Camargo.
judgments.
I think the great thing is that we have come to a place where people don't have to go to court itself anymore. Because court is not fun.
No.
There's nothing fun about court.
No.
It's boring.
The seats are
You're there
really
all day.
uncomfortable.
You probably don't need but 5 minutes of the judge's time, but you're there for 2 hours.
Yeah, sitting in those pews. They're like wooden church pews almost.
And I think it's great that court, any kind of proceeding of that can be done quickly and more efficiently.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, Jonathan Anderson says studies from the UK demonstrate 80% and up efficacy of preventing hospital admission with the booster. Thank you very much. Josue Pais, good morning.
Go get your boosty. Oh, speaking of boosters, here's a little reminder for you all. There are clinics happening tomorrow, Saturday. There's one happening in the morning, and I'm going to check my notes to tell you where it's at.
Ben Tennant, good morning.
Good morning, Ben. So one out at the Aurora Customer Service Center on McCoy Drive, so it's by the firehouse, from 10 to 1, and then one from 3 to 6 p.m. at Cathedral of Grace St. John, so St. John AME out on Bilter. So if you don't have your booster, tomorrow is a great time to go get one. It's a free clinic, and you can call the city at 630-256-3020 to schedule. So maybe pop that one in the comments.
Now, also, let's see here. Operation 60505 is coming to Aurora. That's right, Casildo.
That's right. And Casildo has also offered us many cold weather tips because it is freezing outside. I don't know if all y'all noticed today, if you haven't been outside yet today, as your intrepid Good Morning Aurora hosts have been. It is very cold.
Yes.
So Casildo says, minimize travel. Stay indoors during the worst part of extreme cold. Keep a winter survival kit in your car if you must travel. Check your tire pressure, antifreeze levels, heater, defroster, etc. And learn how to shut off the water valves for potential pipe bursts. Check on the elderly and bring pets inside. Y'all, if you have pets outside right now, we're just done. You are canceled. Bring them inside. Unless it's a husky, because those guys are just and they just want to run in the snow no matter what. But everybody else, if you got anything other than a husky, they should be inside right now.
Yeah, I would definitely agree.
Yeah.
Bring the pets inside.
We have to
care for our animals.
What are you doing?
Any word on if all the schools are going to be remote? No.
But luckily out here in the
West
suburbs,
just opened up.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So luckily out here in the suburbs, it's not the craziness that they're doing that's happening in Chicago right now. Because on Tuesday night, past 11 o'clock at night, CPS teachers were just no, we're not doing this. And then Wednesday morning, people are bringing their kids to school, not even knowing that schools were already closed. So It's just a fiasco out there.
There are current areas of consternation between the Chicago Teachers Union and Mayor Lightfoot and her administration. The time is 8:21 a.m. Good morning, Addie Rubio. Good morning, Elenita Wagan. And good morning to, I said good morning to Josue. But good morning again. Now,
and get pet-friendly salt for the ice for your pets. Yes,
right.
Yes. My dog she refuses to go outside ever when it's cold. But her little paw pads. They need the salt.
Let's talk about this Kane County diversion program.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
Teen Resource Network. Good morning to you as well. Okay. Now, people not going to jail.
It's
is
a good
something
thing.
that I think is great.
I think it's good
for some people.
I think there are probably a few people that you'd really like to have in jail for at least a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not just people being homeless or annoying or whatever, right? Or people with drug problems and these kinds of things, right? So, or mental health issues. So, you want to start? You want me to start?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, Kane County got a grant a while back, a state grant to attempt this pre-arrest diversion program. And what it does basically is it gives officers some discretion rather than to send people arrest people. They now have the discretion to be well, I'm just going to refer you to a social worker or something instead. So they've been trying it out at the Elgin Police Department and at the Kane County Sheriff's Office since November. And so now they just announced they got a $1.2 million federal grant to be able to do the administration of this work a little bit wider.
Good.
So, yeah. I think it's really cool. I think there are lots of similar programs that we've done here in Kane County. The drug court, for one, right? When you've got problems that are entirely drug related rather than going through the regular court system, diverting people into a program that helps them get treatment, right? Mm-hmm. Instead, the pretrial diversion program that we've had here for a long time. That once you've been arrested for something and you're in trouble for it, but if you do enough community service and keep your nose clean for a while, you can avoid felony charges on your record. It's really designed for younger people, right? I am really glad to see this program. I was a little disheartened to see that Aurora has not jumped on it yet. Aurora. They supposedly we are jumping on it. Aurora Police spokesman Paris Lubel said that while department officials have not been involved in the process yet, they are, quote, always interested in what our law enforcement partners are doing and seeing how it fits into our department, i.e., we heard they're doing it, but we're not doing it yet. And, I just think that that's a real missed opportunity if we're not taking advantage of every opportunity to keep people from going into the system and putting them on a better path towards getting them the help that they need.
Well, here's the thing about going to jail. So according to Paris Lubel, yes, always interested in what our law enforcement partners are doing and seeing how it fits into our department. But if you get arrested and you end up going, so police are just there to arrest you. So if they arrest you and you do have a drug problem, if they send you through the whole system and you hit the county, you may end up in this program.
Then you end up in the drug diversion program.
Because it says that it currently operates in the Elgin Police Department and the Kane County Sheriff's Office. So from jail, you're either going to go to prison or go home. So you'll hit the county.
Well, so this one is a slightly different program, though. This is one entirely designed for before even getting arrested. When cops are still on the streets, going to they get a call, and let's say it's a drunken disorderly, something like that, right? A minor offense, and different departments are able to decide what a minor defense is for them. They can choose right there on the spot to not even arrest, right? They can choose to be I am not going to arrest you. What I am going to do is require you to go to talk to this social worker or something. So
this is interesting. So according to Martha Paschke, case manager for the pre-arrest diversion program at the Kane County State's Attorney's Office, she says that so far the biggest challenge in launching the initiative is trying to change the culture within law enforcement from making arrests to make it referrals, which I'm glad to hear her say, because it has been the case since the world has been spinning that the culture within law enforcement is the chief enemy of change. But we already knew that. Now, here's the next part that's actually interesting too. Each department will create its own criteria for what a low-level offense is. In Elgin, they eliminated violent crimes, DUIs, domestic battery, and violation of orders of protection from the program. They do not look at someone's past criminal history, and convicted felons can enter the program. To ensure officers are not biased in who they choose not to arrest, police officials said they'll be releasing monthly reports that show the demographics, how many referrals each officer is making as part of the program, and how many cases are successful.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good element of this program too, because it's definitely issues that you see with some of the, anytime you include the word just at the officer's discretion, right, it definitely leaves a lot of space open. Even when you're talking about the pretrial diversion program, if you're from a quote unquote good family, it's a lot easier to get into, or historically has been easier to get into that program. And they don't necessarily mean just a connected family, but maybe a family where you have like a lot of support, and like if the judge has the sense that your parents are gonna like come down real hard on you if you mess up, the judge is more likely to be like, all right, they'll probably be successful in this program. Which on the one hand, I totally understand, and on the other hand, it's not necessarily a person's fault if their family is not particularly supportive, right? So it's and families have different abilities to support people when they have different income levels and things like that. So including a reporting mechanism to make sure that a proportionate number of people are getting that this program is being used fairly and equitably, I think is really important. But I think the bigger problem, and I was giggling a little bit earlier because Ben Tennant, in our initial opening remarks on some people you kind of want to see in jail, commented, shout out to Ghislaine Maxwell for going to jail. Fair enough. But on the local, like the smaller level, right? Like folks just being drunk and disorderly, they don't necessarily need to go to jail. They need to not be drunk so much. So
No.
Well, I think
No.
No, you don't think so? You think drunk and disorderly, send them to jail?
Yeah, there's no level of drunk and disorderly that I can think of that should not end in going to jail.
Really?
Now maybe like getting a stretch in jail, like weekends and no, but you should definitely
the drunk tank, like go dry out sort of thing.
Yeah, you should see the judge, and the judge should give you a fine of up to $5,000. Definitely. Wow. Absolutely. There's no level drunk and disorderly. There's no level of that. There's not. What's the lowest level of drunk and disorder? I mean,
your obnoxious friend who's just like running naked through the streets, probably. Like,
yeah, you should go to jail for that.
All right.
Yeah, you should be taken off the streets, incarcerated. No, you shouldn't be incarcerated for that. But yeah, you definitely should. Absolutely.
All right, the comments are entertaining. So, but I think with this wider, what this program speaks to is a wider discussion that's happening in the discourse right now in America over what is the role of police officers. How much do we want them doing out in our communities, right? This program is basically asking our police officers to, instead of doing the job that many of them thought that they were getting hired for probably many years ago, which is like chasing after bad guys who are murdering folks or causing danger in the streets, right? To now filling in this role of like, well, you're experiencing a mental health issue, you're experiencing a substance abuse issue, and so I'm going to recognize that and refer you to someone who can help. I think that that's a great measure and a great start in the right direction, but it really is speaking to this wider issue of police divestment, right? Like, what if we're, instead of taking $1.2 million and putting it towards police departments to be able to do this work, what if that $1 million is going towards social workers in the first place to keep people from ending up in that spot and coming into contact with police in the first place? In the in the comments, John Anderson points out a town in Canada reduced arrests by 70% across 2,700 calls by hiring 3 mental health counselors who get dispatched to certain calls. And there's a couple other towns out west that have done this too. I want to say it's Eugene, Oregon, maybe, has the Cahoots program is what it's called. And it's instead of a cop responding to every call, if someone calls into 911 and they've got a problem and it's just clearly someone who's having a bit of a mental health breakdown or needs something like that, instead of sending a cop, they send a social worker and maybe a medic right to the scene instead.
Judge Camargo says the PTD program, pretrial diversion program with the Kane County State's Attorney's Office, is offered by the state and agreed upon by the defense and the person charged. The judge isn't involved in that process.
That is correct. That goes before that gets worked out before anyone really goes before the judge.
Yeah, sorry
if I misspoke.
There was a great American who said that we must all take a bite out of crime. He, I think, epitomized what we want to see in our community. We want to take that bite out of crime, but we want to make sure that others aren't being unfairly bitten. We want to make sure of that. His name was McGruff. I don't know.
Y'all are not seeing my head slap
I don't
right
know
now
if anyone.
on the camera.
I don't know if any of you out there at home.
It's like this.
I don't know if any of you out there at home have ever heard of a great American law enforcement officer.
I think you probably also really just showed our age right there.
His
Here's
name.
the head slap. There it goes.
His name was McGruff.
Oh my goodness. No, but it's like this is I think this program is a really great step in the right direction, right?
I do
because
too.
like it helps if someone is experiencing a crisis of some kind, it is one more method for getting them into a pipeline or getting them resources for the help that they need rather than throwing them into the criminal justice system.
Absolutely.
I just also would like to see more expansion of some of the programs that might keep people from getting to that crisis point in the first place, right? So more money for social work, more money for counseling, things like that.
The time is 8:33 a.m. and you are listening to and watching Jenettesplaining on Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. I have a brief. Monica, would you take me to a commercial, please?
Dun-dun-dun.
Because I have a piece of news that I have to deliver to all of you beautiful, fantastic people out there. And it goes a little something like this. All right. Learn the difference between coronavirus, flu, and cold. COVID-19 symptoms are fever or chills, cough, shortness of breath, or difficulty breathing, change and loss of taste and smell, fatigue, muscle or body aches, and sore throat. Flu symptoms: fever, cough, sore throat, runny or stuffy nose, muscle and body aches, headaches, fatigue, vomiting, and diarrhea. Cold symptoms: runny or stuffy nose, sneezing, sore throat, and congestion. This is from Advocate Aurora Health. In addition, virtual, immediate, or emergency care. Know where to go for a fever, cough, sore throat, runny nose, and more. You can get a quick care video visit for COVID-19, allergies, cold or flu, sinus infections, skin rashes, and sore throat. Immediate care for cuts and scrapes, rashes, sprains and strains, and minor burns. Or emergency care for broken bones, convulsions or seizures, difficulty breathing, dizziness, and loss of consciousness. If you think you're experiencing an emergency, dial 911. This information comes to us as the rates of people in the ICU are reaching a crisis point. And Advocate stresses that everyone needs to do their part and learn what's going on and the symptoms between cold, flu, and COVID-19 so as not to fill up unnecessary bed space. The time is 8:35 a.m. Okay, you can bring a brother back. We can bring us back. We back? Yeah. Okay, now we have a friend. His name is Joe Biden. He called
Close personal friend.
Oh, that's my what I call.
We were over for Thanksgiving.
Right. He called, and we just got the phone with him. Monica just hung up.
We were just, yeah.
He called, and he said that another one of our friends named Mike Nelson was recently given mega props.
Slash a promotion.
Word up, slash a promotion. Let's talk about that.
That was the best segue ever. So we have a new special events manager. His name is Mike Nelson, friend of the show. Ladies and
gentlemen in the audience, clap for Mike Nelson, please.
Clap for Mike Nelson.
Do that.
He's gearing up for a whole year of parades this year.
Oh.
Should be really, really great to have him at the helm. That's it. That's the announcement. We just wanted to talk about how great he is. He binge listens on Saturdays, so he's not live on the show right now, but he'll hear this tomorrow. So, and also start taking sponsorships for the events, Mikey.
Right. Now
let's do some sponsorships so that my taxpayer dollars aren't paying for like exploding fireworks.
Now, because we care, we will put some of his business out there. He will serve as liaison for all City of Aurora events and as liaison to downtown issues that are non-development. He started with the city as an intern more than 5 years ago and has served as the interim events manager after Gina Moga. Shout out to Gina Moga. Longtime special events manager, retired in July of 2021. According to Mr. Nelson, quote, "I'm excited to announce that planning for a full year of action-packed parades is underway. This year, you'll see the highly anticipated return of our Memorial Day Parade, which has not stepped off since 2019. The 4th of July Parade, Fiestas Patrias Parade, the Pooch Parade, the Veterans Day Parade, the Winter Lights Parade, which was just held last November and broke a record, and the Incredible Pride Parade, which has not stepped off since 2019.
That's right. We had a Pride Parade, and then we didn't have a Pride Parade. Now we're going to have a Pride Parade again. Look at all the claps and the text. Love it.
Now, the city, here's something that I think I want to read this also great part. Where did it go? Okay, here we go. Okay, consent agendas. Consent was given to a resolution approving the appointment of Mavis Bates, Valencia Gedron, Christina Murphy, and Carol Riley to the Mayor's Sustainable Advisory Board. The nomination, city government documents show in June 2021, the City Council approved changes to Chapter 2, which included a sunset provision for all boards and commission members. The sunset was included to bring the board/commission terms into compliance with the new dates provided in the ordinance, as well as survey members if they wish to continue to serve or step down. Consent was given to a resolution approving the appointment of Bill Donnell, 4th Ward Alderman, Mike Nelson, Tony Martinez, and Vernon Lavia to represent Aurora to the Aurora Area Convention Bureau. And consent was given to a resolution approving the appointment of Philip Pogue to the Grand Army of the Republic GAR Commission. He is a resident in Ward 10. The time is now 8:40. Good Lord.
Whew.
All right. Now, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's eating Gilbert Grape. But I do know that the deadline is almost here for nearly 200 scholarships through the
segues today
FRV. Now, was that did you see that headline?
Yeah, I saw that.
Right here.
I saw that.
Okay.
No, the segues are really crushing it today.
They're killing it.
So they're killing it. They're killing it like them grapes. Just crushing them. Yeah, no, this is just a reminder to anyone with high schoolers looking at college in your life, that January 18th is the deadline for the Community Foundation of the Fox Valley Scholarships. What's great about this is that it's like 200 different scholarships, but like just one application, and it's all like local stuff. So they're not usually like huge. Like I am the proud recipient of the Simmons Minkler Scholarship in honor of a woman whose dad created the Minkler apple. It was like a thing. It was like $1,000 scholarship for a few years in college, but like it's not a very difficult application form, and they're local, so very good odds of getting them. So definitely go apply to those on the Community Foundation's website.
Many of the scholarships are based on financial need. Others reward merit and academic achievement. Some of the niche scholarships for specific fields of study, and some are renewable for up to 4 years. CFFRV.com is where you need to go to access the application, general policies, the list of materials needed to apply, primary eligibility requirements, types of scholarships available, and location-based opportunities. The scholarships are also available to students who live in the Aurora area, the Tri-Cities of Batavia, Geneva, St. Charles, and Kendall County. Students apply to the Community Foundation Scholarship Program as a whole, not for a particular scholarship, and are considered for any scholarship in which they are eligible. Students who submit applications by the January 18th deadline will receive award decisions in early May of this year.
So thanks to the Community Foundation, I only owe $86,000 instead of $87,000. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Now, one of the scholarships that
I actually really do, though.
This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the news book. We received this. This was handed down to us actually here at the studio. It's updated daily via our team that's out there in the streets, just doing the absolute most and working very diligently. So one of the other things that I see here in our news book is that
the news book. It's a book that comes out every day with more news.
Yeah, you see this? Shit got mad news.
Got recipes.
Right.
We got everything.
Oh, look, hot cross buns. How about
Look at
that? Now,
I've been experimenting with hot cocoa recipes in the cold snap, so.
How's that going?
It's good. It's going well. I did accidentally dump in way too much vanilla yesterday on accident, but like it turned out pretty good. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Playing with some different milks. The oat milk. Oat milk's my jam right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now I want to. Let me see here. The time is now 8:43. Monica, would you do us something? Take us to a commercial. Give us like 3 joints.
3 joints.
3 joints.
Good morning. Here are your local headlines. Real news, real people, real stories, 100% Aurora. Don't forget to please subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all of our content. There you can also watch all of our interviews and receive notifications when we go live. The 2022 Youth Voices Forum on Mental Health will be held virtually on Wednesday, February 23rd from 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. The Youth Voices Forum creates a space for young people to have their voices heard as they share their thoughts, experiences, and insights related to mental health. This year's forum will feature student speakers, small group breakout sessions, and a large group session where students can report out. This Saturday, there will be 2 great vaccine clinics locally to better serve Aurorians. The City of Aurora has teamed up with VNA Healthcare and will host 2 of these events with vaccines for children as well. The first will be at Aurora Fire Station 8, located at 3770 McCoy Drive. That will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The second will be at Cathedral of Grace, St. John Church, located at 2950 Bitler Road. That will be from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. To schedule an appointment, call 630-256-3020, and there will be coffee and donuts. Thank you to our city representatives for all that they do. Saturday, January 15th, from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., there will be a reading and craft event at Simply Destiny Youth Center. Friend of the show, Victoria Jaila Maldonado, will be reading her book, Startled by the brave. Come experience a great story about showing bravery and kindness in the face of bullying. Simply Destiny is located at 122 West Downer Place in Suite 124.
That's right. That's so right. It's so right it can never be left. Saul Olivas Ortiz, good morning to you. Go, Mike. He texts me regularly. Cheryl Brownell is here. Good morning to you, Cheryl Brownell. Tracy Duran, good morning to you as well. Peter Aguilera, buenos dias to you as well, dear brother. And Casildo Casey Cuevas, who provided perhaps the greatest comment that ever existed. He remembers McGruff.
Oh my God.
Yes. Could we clap for McGruff? Do that.
Do they still
You can bring
use
it.
McGruff the crime dog? I don't really know.
Huh?
Do they still use McGruff the crime dog? Have you seen that on ads lately? Also, do they still do Dare? Because I know they've proved like a million times over that doesn't really do anything. So I'm curious to know if kids still have to sit through being told that, everything fun is a gateway drug.
Norma Peterson says that she loves the special events team. Great group. Yeah, we do too. I am happy.
Yeah?
I'm very happy.
Is it because you didn't get ticketed in the snow this year?
Oh, yeah. Talk about that.
You want to talk about that?
Monica got ticketed. No. Did you get ticketed?
Yeah,
Monica got ticketed last year. Yeah.
Last year. Okay. So
McGruff. Karen Caputo is here. Good morning, Karen. Dan Santos, good morning. We had McGruff at the Fire Museum over this. Come on, man.
Oh, okay. All right. So McGruff is still around. All right. Okay. It's not a marker of our age then. That's good. That's good to know.
McGruff is timeless.
What kind of dog is he? Is he like a bloodhound?
Bloodhound.
He's a bloodhound?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he got the fly trench coat on.
You got the trench coat?
Like your boy. Come on! They never saw APD still using McGruff costume for events. It's not a costume.
Costume. Don't be silly.
Arf!
Okay.
All right, come on. Let's get serious here.
Okay. So
This is the news.
So back to news. You'll remember it snowed, as it is wont to do this time of year, usually in November, but it waited until December this year. And if you'll recall, you got many, many text messages from the city. If you were signed up for the text messages, which you should be, and if you're not, go to the city's website right now and sign up for text messages. I think it's the Aurora Alert. I don't know. There's like 5 different ways of like the city of Aurora contacting you that are all they're all on the left-hand side of the website. So, but you can sign up for the texts and then they'll text you. And they did this time around. And the texts were like, hey, snow's coming. And hey, we're getting more snow. And hey, like the snow team is out there plowing 1,400 miles of roadway, which was great. But you know what they could have just texted you is like, move your car. Which they did not text you. Like, if you clicked through, like if you clicked the link, you would have been like, oh, right, and there's a reminder to like move your car. But just like, this is what we call burying the lead in journalism. Guys, put the important thing on top. If you're going to send 3 texts, at least one of those should be like, hey, move your car. Because what happened is like 200 people got tickets this time around for being parked in the streets. Now, people have to move their cars. I'm not saying don't ticket people who leave their cars on the street when it snows, because the plows have to get through. And a lot of times the problems come in neighborhoods like ours. My street was particularly mentioned in the Beacon News article about it this time around, where it's like they're older streets, they're narrow, and there's a lot more cars and a lot fewer places to park them. Like people don't have driveways, right, in the older neighborhoods in town necessarily, or they don't have garages and things like that like you do out in like the more suburban-y looking parts of town. So you'll have cars parked on either side of the street and the plow literally can't get through. So that's a huge life safety issue. So I'm not saying don't ticket the people leaving their cars. I'm just saying if you're going to send 3 texts, at least one of them should be like, no, you have to go move your car. We're going to ticket it.
How can McGruff help with that?
Well, McGruff doesn't drive, presumably, so I don't know that he can.
He doesn't have an opposable thumb.
He doesn't text either. So
Actually, you know what? We're going to do something different today, actually. Instead of the word of the day, the discovery of the day will be the opposable thumb. Please put in the chat for the folks
Opposable.
The opposable thumb and its relevant history. The time is 8:50 a.m. Okay. Michelle Gums is here. Good morning to you, Michelle Gums. McGruff was like Robert Stack in Unsolved Mysteries. That voice. The next thing you know, the men disappeared with no trace being. I feel like
you watched a lot more Unsolved Mysteries than I did as a kid.
When I was young, Unsolved Mysteries and Columbo.
Those were your jams, huh?
Unsolved Mysteries and Columbo is what I binge watched from age 5 until last night.
Okay. All right, that's a little weird. Ours was the Rescue 911 show. Anyone remember that jam?
No, they don't.
Rescue 911.
Nobody's in the comments. Nobody's.
Except unless you went,
dries in.
unless you went to West Aurora and had CPR/first aid class. Because here's what they used to do is like you would be sitting in class and your teacher would have to like test people on like their CPR skills on dummy or whatever. So then the rest of the class would just have to like sit there and watch old episodes of Rescue 911 on VHS. That was our West High education. So
wow.
Yes, one of my best friends and I bonded over watching families go through really, really terrifying things, ordeals, and then happily walking in the park afterwards.
Aha! Here it is. I think I don't know if we remember telling you guys the dates of the. So January 10th through February 4th is when Kane County Circuit Court will be remote. It looks like they will start back in person. That's according to Kane County Chief Judge Clint Hull. You know, if I was, well.
The one other point I think that I wanted...
The time is 8:52.
Very good. Yeah, we're rolling right through. The one other point that I think that I really wanted to make, too, on the moving your cars issue is that because this is such an issue in neighborhoods where there are, like, in the downtown, where there's a lot of cars and not a lot of parking space, too, is that it sort of becomes a de facto, like, poor tax, too, right? Like, if you are... Like, because there are folks in that neighborhood, and my place included, where we literally just have not had enough places to put cars either, right? So, like, having the reminder a little bit earlier in advance might help you, like, kind of game plan and figure out, like, okay, how are we going to move, like, 3 cars when we've got a driveway space that fits 2?
Vanessa Rodriguez-Aguirre is here. Good morning to you, Vanessa Rodriguez-Aguirre. I used to binge watch Unsolved Mysteries with my dad because we only had one TV. You too? Holy cow. I remember I went to somebody's house when I was a kid. They had 2 TVs. I was like, damn, they're rich.
Yeah, right?
Holy cow.
And one of them was like black and white and fuzzy and had like the like hanger like as the antenna. And that
they had color
was, like,
joints.
The bedroom TV. No, that was like our bedroom TV when I was a kid. Yeah.
Boring ass bedroom. Y'all got black and white with the hanger? Like, honey, change it.
Oh, yeah.
What do you want me to do?
Oh, yeah. No, we had one of those. That was like the late 80s for me.
And Dan says those streets shouldn't be allowed to park on the street. They all have driveways. They are too lazy to just position the vehicles on the driveways in the order of who is leaving the house first, second, or third.
Look, man. And
that sounds like a family dispute, which we don't do on this show, do we?
Well, it is like a whole thing,
Maybe we should. We'll do counseling.
When you got to stack them up. And I would also say this, when you stack them up properly, it saves you an awful lot of shoveling because you just got to brush the snow off the car instead of dig out the driveway, which is convenient. But like if you don't if like you don't have the opportunity to do that. I'm just saying, like, a little warning would have been good. Like right. A little reminder, like, you got to move your cars.
Here's a reminder for you folks that will benefit you immensely. The COVID-19 testing site near Chicago Premium Outlets.
The legit one that you should be going to.
6 days a week, up from the current 4 days a week. This is ran by the Kane County, Illinois Department of Public Health. The site is located at 2450 North Farnsworth Avenue. Will run from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Mondays through Saturdays, you guys. And the bottom line is the same. The cases are trending up as well as the hospitalizations. It continues to be the case that the vast majority of cases, hospitalizations, and death are among those who are not vaccinated. And that quotation is from, I said that quotation is from, Ngozi Ezeki, director of the Illinois Department of Public Health.
That's right.
Hello?
You just on the line with Dr. Ezeki right now.
Yeah,
Get the update. Hold on.
right.
We're getting the update.
Okay. No, I got Jeanette right here.
No, hi. I'm here.
Okay. No, we'll put Monica on that one. All right. Okay, bye.
Oh, good grief.
All
And
right.
with that-
Time is 8:56 a.m. That was City Hall calling. They
Not
said-
Dr. Ezeki.
How do I know?
No, that wasn't Dr. Ezekiel. That's City Hall. They said we're
City Hall.
doing a great job.
Okay.
We already knew that.
Right.
But yeah, so the last piece of news that we had, if I'm not mistaken,
What do we got?
that was in regards to we did the testing site joints,
We
the
did
two.
the testing sites. We've got all that.
We did the Fox Valley Community Foundation.
We've got the apply for your scholarships.
We did the apply for the scholarships, and we did the parking tickets.
Talked about snow. Yeah.
Did we do the schools? We had a question about the schools being open.
The question about the schools being open. Do we want to find out? They're probably open.
I think we did. Yeah, we did the schools. Yeah, we did the schools.
We're good on schools?
Here it is. There is another dispensary
Another one.
opening in Aurora. 1415 Corporate Boulevard. This is New Era Marijuana Dispensary. It's next door to Chicago Premium Outlets, and it's 420 feet from the Farnsworth Interchange. I don't know why they put that in this. Guess they're trying to be funny. The license for the Aurora facility is actually a secondary license, known as a plus one. It's a Chicago medical marijuana facility. It's using the secondary license allowed New Era to get open quicker. It's the third adult use facility for New Era, which also operates such dispensaries in Champaign and Pekin. And it runs facilities in Chicago, Urbana, and East Peoria.
We shout out to Michelle Gums in the comments for reminding us the one thing we did want to touch upon again, which is warming centers. Warming centers are now open. They have turned the Aurora Transportation Center into a 24-hour warming center too right now. So you can hang out there in the morning. There's like the little coffee shop in there if you get a little hungry.
Yes, and the lady's name is Kitty. Kitty is her name.
Very nice.
And you know what? You know what? That reminds me. Let me say right now, shout out to Kitty. If you ever go to the metro station, the Aurora Transportation Center, and you see inside the little cut right there, they got coffee, donuts, juice, all that stuff. You get coffee. That lady's name is Kitty. Kitty, when I used to ride that train, let me tell you a story. We got time for a story?
I think we do.
Let me tell you a story. When I used to ride the train every single day of my life with Jordan Eichelberger and Erica Tompkins, whose husband is Berwin Tompkins of I Got the Munchies Education. I used to go in there. It was the only thing open. Now, she had a policy because there was a guy who used to come there and stock the coffee for them, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes he's late. And she would meet like a crowd of people who became regulars. It was like 6 a.m. So you know what she did? Sometimes you get there and there's no coffee. Like, yo, Kitty, what's the deal? Well, Kitty was old school. You know what she did? She went and bought another coffee pot, old school with the filters and everything. So if the guy was late with the fancy thing, all that, then you could still get coffee. She'd make it
the bun.
She would do it old
machine.
school.
Yeah.
That lady was dedicated to making sure that her customers could still come see her, have a good time, and maintain what was had there. We need more Kitties in the world. Kitty, good morning to you. The time is 9 o'clock. All right.
We're there. We made it.
Thank you.
You are all ready.
Thank you, guys.
Ready to start your day. Start your weekend. If you're playing hooky today, good for you.
Monica, how do you feel
Recommend that.
ending our first week and going into our brand new second one?
How we feeling? Check in.
Joyful.
No.
Joyful. Okay, all
what
right.
What a good word.
Good word. How are you feeling?
Oh man, I don't know if I've got a single word for it. Maybe a little. You know what I have going into this next week? I have a plea for you all, which is to remember that everything's changing right now. We're in the middle of this cold freeze. We're in the middle of the pandemic still. We're in the middle of, there's school closures. There's places shutting down, your restaurants are, having to cancel things. Everything is chaotic still. And I just want to plead with you to be nice to the other people on the internet. Be nice to the people who are fielding your complaints, right? Remember that when you DM an organization to complain about something, that a real life person has to read that. Remember that when you go to a restaurant and they aren't offering a service or something like that because COVID, right, or they're short-staffed or whatever, it is not that person's fault, the one who's at the register. Whoever is telling you that you can't do the thing that you want to do, whoever's telling you have to wear a mask, you have to have a vax card, you have to whatever, right, or they don't have a thing or whatever, they're not the decision makers. They're just the person who is out there every day dealing with grumpy people. Just be nice to them.
Right.
That's it. That's my going forward into the week thing. Just be cool.
Right. Josue, thank you very much. East Aurora High School, Simmons Middle School, and Cowherd Middle School are remote learning. Last I heard, all elementary schools are open. Warming centers. Thank you very much for those last things. Sir, this is a Wendy's. That's an inside joke. Ben, I see you. You funny. You real funny. Jasmine, good morning, dear sister. The next time you are, if anyone is looking for a wonderful place to have lunch, maybe not lunch. I think you get there at 4 p.m. Don't want to tell you all your business, but too late. El Jefe. You go into El Jefe, support El Jefe, and go support our friend Jasmine, who will give you absolutely wonderful, fantastic service. We hope that you enjoyed this great episode of Jenettesplaining here on the second largest city's first daily news podcast. As Monica said, be joyful. As Jeanette said, be kind.
Nice. Just be kind.
And I will conclude with the rhyme. Take a bite out of crime. You can end it. Yeah. Let's just like that.
Just like that. We're not doing the normal thing.
Take care of yourself and each other.
Adios, Aurora.